All right, the session I think is now being recorded. So a very warm welcome to all of you. This is the pre-session interaction on installation of VOS Viewer, a software that we will be employing today. And I'm assuming that I am audible to all of you and that everything is visible, including the screen that I have shared. And you just need to search for, on Google, you need to search for VOS Viewer. Some of you contacted me saying that you have MacBook, so I'll show you what you need to install another file for that. Once you Google about VOS Viewer, you will find this website that you must be having on your screen. Shrutika madam, can you confirm two things, whether I'm audible or not and whether the screen is visible or not?
Sir, good evening, sir. You are audible. Your screen is visible too. Sir,
Yeah.
I am having one query. Can we install this software on mobile phone?
I don't think so you can do that, but there is an online web version of it that perhaps you can use. But let's not get
Okay.
into that right now. But I think mobile will not be a good idea to use this because it's quite a heavy software once it is installed.
Okay. Fine, sir. Fine. Thank you.
So this is the web page, and here on this page you will be able to see the download option. Once you go to the download option, there are 3 files. Those who are having MacBook or Apple ecosystem can go for the second file. This one, again I'll show you this one, second one. And for 99% of us who are very regular common people, we'll have Windows system with us. So for us, this is the file you need to download. Once you download it, okay, I'll just download it in front of you. I've clicked upon it. It will start the auto download just now. Once you download it, it needs to be saved. Wherever you have downloaded, you need to create a separate folder for it, wherever you want it. And then copy paste or cut paste that downloaded file. Okay. And it is getting downloaded, as you can see on the screen. And I'll show you what I mean by it. And you need to cut paste it separately, create a folder wherever you want it, cut paste that downloaded file which is being downloaded right now on my PC into that folder, and then extract all the files there. This is important because by doing this, you will be able to get its preloaded data files. That also we will use today. And really excited to start. We'll start in 5-10 minutes. Just bear with me. So we have downloaded the file, and now I'll share the main screen with you. That is my entire screen. Yeah, I'll share the entire screen with you. So whatever I do will now be visible to you, and I hope that's the case. Yeah. Keep yourself muted. Yesterday, Dr. Malik announced some important suggestions and guidelines. One of them is to keep yourself muted. And I request the IT team to make me the co-host once the formal session starts. This is what I discussed with Dr. Malik. So he's having some personal important emergency to attend. He may not be able to come very actively, though he will be there. So please make me the co-host for today so that I can handle the things as and when needed. Okay, participant.
Already done, sir.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Okay, so you can see the screen and have downloaded this viewer file. That's a zip file. It's a compressed file. I'll open the compressed file. It is stored here. And what I'll do is I'll cut it, Control X, I'll cut it, and I'll go to a folder or a drive where I want it. Say I generally prefer the academics drive. I'll open a new folder here, which I will name the same, VOS Viewer. Okay, very simple. Download the file from the website, create a new folder somewhere, and cut paste that downloaded zip file here. And now there is no installation per se. My screen is not visible, someone is saying. Can somebody confirm if you can see my screen or not?
Sir, it is visible.
Yes,
Yeah, it is visible. Yeah.
It is visible.
Yes,
Thank you.
it is very much visible.
Yeah, so those of you who are facing problem, always wait for 2-3 minutes. There is a lag due to network differences, maybe at your end, maybe at my end. So fine, don't worry about it. And whatever problems you face, I'm there after the session also. So contact me, I'll help you. Don't worry about anything. So you have this file that I have cut paste from the folder where it was earlier downloaded, and I have transferred it to another folder where I want it. Now I right click it and I click the option extract all, and I extract it to the same place where I have stored my downloaded exe file. So once you extract it, once you extract it, this is the kind of screen you will see. Okay, once you extract it, this is the kind of screen you will see, and there is a folder. Forget about the folder. There is a icon VOS Viewer, and once you double click it, the VOS Viewer software will open. So there is no installation per se. It's simply a matter of downloading from the website, creating a new folder, transferring that downloaded file there, right clicking it, and then extracting everything there itself. And once you do that, you will be able to see this icon. Once you double click the icon, automatically the software will be launched. So yeah, this is the simple installation of VOS Viewer. It is taking some time to open because it has opened now. It has opened. So you can see the screen in front of you. All of you should be able to see the screen, and this is not a hands-on right now. It will occur during the session or maybe at the last stages. So, but by now you should be clear on what you need to do. Yeah, so yeah, anybody facing any problem right now regarding this? Anybody?
Yes,
facing-
sir. When I clicked on this, so at my screen it's appearing that this needs 64-bit Java for Windows.
Yeah, that's very important. I forgot to tell you. So just click OK on that. It will take you to Java website. Install Java. It will take 5 minutes more, and then you run the same process. You don't even need to run the same process. Just double click the icon. After that, it will open. So Java 8, you have to install Java 8. You can Google about it. See, I'll do it in front of you. So I was using one PC today at my office, and the same problem occurred. And simply you need to install Java. So you can just install Java for Windows, preferably for Windows, Java runtime. It is known as Java runtime. Java runtime for Windows, and if you see that, you will open it. It's free of cost. There is nothing you need to pay for it. Windows 64-bit, this one. And see, when it shows that error, it will also, once you click OK or something, there is a button there. When you click it, it will take you to Java's website. And if it is not taking it, you manually do it. See, from Java website, you will find this website, and you will find this icon, this one. You install it. It's very simple. You just go whatever step it says, keep pressing next. No need to change any setting. And after it has been installed, go back to the same icon, double click the icon, it will run. All right, so Java runtime has to be installed. So you can Google Java runtime Windows. So the second one would be better. That is what it says, correct? Java runtime environment is required. So you install this. So I did that today in my office PC. This one, yeah, this is the correct website. This is the correct website. I'll put this in chat box. All right. Let me put this in chat box. See, I put something in chat box. You can just click on it. It will open that particular website. Check your chat box. So once you install it, another 5 more minutes, and then you will be able to run that particular icon. You don't need to reinstall and do everything again. Just double click that icon. It will be done. Yeah, great. All right. So I think we have done the installation part. Google Trends is also something we will use today, but that's just online tool, so no need to worry about it. All right, Ms. Shrutika, I hand over the session to you to formally start the session.
Yes.
Dr. Bhagirath,
Yeah.
can you show the screen once? How
Madam,
the screen looks?
will we have to start the session? I will show it during the
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Ms.
Should I
Shrutika.
proceed, sir?
Please, please.
Thank you, sir. Yes, a very warm welcome to all the participants, esteemed organizers, and our distinguished expert. It's my pleasure to have you all join us today for our 10 days workshop on research analysis for social sciences. I'm Shrutika Thakkar, Assistant Professor from GSFC University, and I will be your moderator for today's session. Our session is on conceptualization of research topic. It's my pleasure to have Dr. Bhagirath Baria sir as an expert for our today's session. Sir is currently associated as Assistant Professor at the Department of Banking and Insurance, Faculty of Commerce in the Maharaja Sayajirao University of Baroda. He holds PhD in business economics and he have deep expertise in econometrics modeling and data analytics. His research work focuses on policy-driven analysis of critical economic issues. He have high-quality research publications in Scopus and ABDC journals, index journals. Also, he have 3 books in Routledge and World Scientific. He is the founder of educational initiative called the Cafe Economics, and he continues to impart training on economics, statistics, and econometrics in India and abroad. I am excited to hear his insights on conceptualization of research topic. Before starting with our session, I would request all the participants to please mute themselves. In case of persistent disruptions, we may have to discontinue you from the workshop. So it is my humble request to please mute yourself. Now, I would like to hand over the session to Dr. Bhagirath sir. Over to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Madam, Shrutika Madam. We'll start the session now. Participants are very warm welcome and happy to have all of you. It is indeed a pleasure to again getting an opportunity to connect with diverse people from diverse backgrounds. And I have tried my best to create a session which is very practical, and which is, by practical we mean, see, we can't ignore theory. Theory is the foundation of everything. There is nothing like practical in reality. Everything is theory. The better you understand theory, the more practical you will be in your life in taking decisions. At the same time, I want you to learn something from this and apply it immediately once the workshop is over. That's my spirit. And that is how most of all of the sessions have been planned. I mean, we have sat with the experts, we have planned everything. That's our philosophy in this workshop. All 4 or 5 institutions that we have come together to create a workshop where it is skill oriented. So let me share the screen, and I'll first of all would like to show you my presentation file, which I have very lovingly prepared for all of you. And let me switch on the screen show. I'll press the share button and yeah. I think now you can see the screen, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, now you can see the screen. So let's get on the business. Yesterday, Dr. Nandini talked about soft skills with you from today, and then Professor Heba talked about big data, AI, and its implications for social sciences. From today, we get into the business of hard skills. So this is the topic that I have, conceptualization of research topic, and such a fascinating idea. And we specifically wanted to keep this topic. We also wanted to have one more session on the idea on discussing about the metrics in research, such as different impact factors, different citation indexes, but we thought it would take us far away from our main focus, which is research analytics. However, for any form of research, you need to have a theme, an idea, and a topic in mind. And even whether you are an early stage professional or you are a mid-career professional, in these 2 cases, conceptualizing a research topic will be an important challenge. Why do I say that? Because your entire career path, including your publication record and your ability to impact the literature, will be determined by your initial choices, what areas you start working in. All right. So with that spirit, let me go on the session plan. This is the session plan I have for all of you, and It takes around 10-15 seconds for slides to show once I change it. So don't worry, some lag is there. All right, so we'll first have a look at research paradigms. How do you look at research? What are the competing ideas on thinking about research? I remember yesterday the esteemed invited inaugural speaker from VGU. Sir was speaking about a lot of things. He particularly touched upon the idea that as a researcher, you need to have concern for something and an interest in something. That drives you to do good research. Most of the people who do research for the sake of API or for the sake of promotion, some of them may be very good researchers and maybe publishing in top-notch journals, but they won't be able to contribute much to the literature. They won't be able to create a lineage or a idea or a line of analysis in literature. So this research paradigm idea is very important. What kind of fundamental philosophy do you have regarding research? We then look into various conceptualization strategies. I mean, why I call it strategies, because how do you practically decide what topic to choose? I mean, I don't want to tell you various principles and follow your inspiration or your idea or follow your passion. I mean, fine, we all know that. Okay, we all know that. I don't need to tell you those things. You are here to learn the skills, the trade, the game itself. How do I go about deciding a topic? And I have developed some really interesting ways of conceptualizing topics, which I'll be talking along with various hands-on sessions. So there are 3 hands-ons that I will be doing along. One is VOS Weaver. There are 2 more for you, and which I have shown you here on the screen itself. Then we will look at some dimensions of research in practice, in real world, practical world. What are the dimensions of research? And finally, we look at some insights, some final tips, suggestions that you can take home. Some of my experiences as an emerging researcher, as an early stage researcher, what mistakes I have made in my very early stages. I'll share those honestly with you so that you don't repeat them. And what important lessons have I learned? When my guide used to tell it, I did not like it. Today I realize he was correct. So then we'll have a question answer round. Fine. So we'll go on the first thing. What are research paradigms? There are 2 paradigms that I have, and there are 3-4 very really high quality references that I have used. I have cited them here. You can see the source. I will share the PDF also with you, so don't worry about it. First is the Cartesian paradigm, where you look at things. See, there are 2 conceptions. Either you look at static, look at the world as a static entity, which is as it is, which is not moving, there is no dynamism, or you look at the reality around you as interacting, where those static entities are in themselves static but are constantly interacting with each other. So if you start with things, static things, and then you find their dynamic interactions and relationships, based on that idea, you create the phenomena in front of you. What is that phenomena? Your research topic. Whatever subject idea you take up. Let's say you want to analyze poverty, you want to analyze, in marketing we have mass teach marketing, which is picking up a lot. You can have social marketing, you can have HR management, attrition, problem of attrition, or if you are working in psychology, you may be interested in quantifying certain psychological aspects of particular kind of people. Some kind of phenomenon. If you are in business or business studies, you might be interested in profitability and efficiency. Some phenomenon must be there which you want to analyze. So if you start with things, find out their interactions, and then you analyze your phenomena, you have a Cartesian paradigm. But there is a reverse paradigm, a Hegelian paradigm, and this paradigm says that everything starts with interactions. The world, if you go in satellite, if you go in a helicopter or a spaceship, and if you can, we don't have spaceships, we have International Space Station. If you go around 1 or 1.5 or 2 kilometers above the surface, if you look at the things, they are not things per se, they are interactions, movements, relationships between people, between firms, between banks, between whatever you can think of, and from there you take up one part of that interaction, freeze it, take out the things in that part, and then you start analyzing the phenomenon of your interest. That's another philosophy of research, a research paradigm, if you will. In both the cases, the way you start with, the kind of data you will use, the methods that you will employ will be very different. Your interpretation will be very different, surprisingly. The same mass of data in front of you will have very different interpretation if you have a Cartesian paradigm versus if you have a Hegelian paradigm. So this is something that I'd like to start my session with, maybe a little theory driven or a little bit heavy, but really interesting. You know, what kind of a research paradigm do you have? Do you start with static things, start defining them, then you look at their interactions or linkages, and then you study the phenomenon, which is a more traditional way of doing things? Or there is also another school of thought where you start with relationships and dynamics, movements, and then take out some part of it and then analyze the things in them, and then you analyze your phenomenon of interest. So ask yourself this, you know, what kind of paradigm do you have? That paradigm will determine how you conceptualize your research topics, you know, because the first one, the Cartesian paradigm, will take you more into the world of static and comparative static analysis, two kinds of analysis which are very popular in business, management, economics, public administration, even psychology. Static and comparative static. So you analyze things as frozen, okay, as they are at a certain point in time, or the difference between them at point 1 compared to point 2 in time, over time. So let's say you want to analyze how the economy has performed in 2010 compared to 2024. You want to compare them. That's a comparative static analysis. The Hegelian paradigm will allow you to analyze create dynamic topics for your research. By dynamic, I mean not very fancy and interesting, but by dynamic we mean where lot of feedback interactions are there. So in other words, lot of equations will be created, lot of complexity will be there, so lot of data requirement will be there. It depends on what situation or what thing you are trying to analyze, what is the phenomenon that you are trying to analyze. All right, these are the methods that I have developed for you based on my understanding. I have taken a 3-step strategy. How did I come across these methods of conceptualization? First, I talked with people who have very high citations in different fields, particularly in marketing management, in HR management, in macroeconomics, and even in applied econometrics. I talked with them informally, you know, how they decide topics, given that they are highly cited and high impact factor authors. Then I referred some really interesting references. And third, I used my own self-introspection, the first point itself. I also introspected. How do I decide? How would somebody decide if they were in my place or if I were in their place? So I have two major kinds of strategies for you: ad hoc, which are not based on very well-defined scientific protocols, and systematic, where you have a well-defined scientific protocol. All right, we'll look at them one by one. Ad hoc strategies are generally determined randomly from many sources, from newspaper articles, from journal articles, from talking to people. You know, it's a very innovation and curiosity driven process. You go around talking with many people, you go to conferences, you go to workshops, you meet somebody, some idea clicks, then you forget about it, then after some time it clicks again, you get some idea on that, you find a collaboration, and then you start working on it. So that's one way of doing conceptualizing a research topic, you know, ad hoc strategy. Two major strategies are there. One is the self introspection, where you ask yourself certain questions. I'll show you what those questions are, and based on the answers to those questions, you decide your topic. You know, it's your own calling, it's your own deep passion for what you want to do. And then there is a peer group interaction method, where you engage in interacting with people in your offices, in universities, in institutes, in corporates, wherever you are working. You go to workshops, you go to seminars, you go to conferences, you talk with large number of people to know what's in the what's popular right now, what's being talked about, what are the topics, what are the ideas, what are the debates that are being discussed right now in the literature, informally, you know, by talking to people. You are not doing any literature review here. Actually, you are interacting with people who are at par with you or maybe superior to you in seniority or knowledge, and then you're getting an idea. These two methods, self introspection and peer group, these ad hoc strategies are very good for early career researchers, those who are in the early stage of their research work. Why? Because they get lot of new insights, new ideas. They have still not determined their area of expertise. They still don't have that well established idea which subject domain, let's say economics or let's say management, they are very vast. So what exactly are you going to focus on in this? Let's say marketing management. Marketing management, you may decide to focus on masstige marketing or brand equity management or something else. There are so many things in marketing management going on right now, in HR management, in accounting, in finance. I mean, the sky is the limit. So this is the time, these are the methods where early career researchers can get an idea where they should anchor themselves in coming years. um, Peer group interaction is definitely superior. Why? Because it helps you to adjust for that paradigm bias. So if you are, say, for example, having a Cartesian paradigm where you look at things as static and then you find the dynamics in them, which that may not be suitable for the kind of subject you are dealing with. For example, if you are in economics, particularly in macroeconomics, you need to have a Hegelian paradigm because there is so much of dynamism at the economy level. Everything is interconnected and moving together. So it may not be correct to use a Cartesian paradigm. So if you go into peer group interaction, you will be able to realize, okay, yeah, if I want to be a good macroeconomist, I need to start looking at dynamics first and see how they work, how to analyze them. That bias that you may have in the beginning will be taken care of. Now, how and under what conditions? Let's have a look at it in detail. So self introspection is some questions you need to ask yourself. What issue or phenomenon interests you? What gives you that kick, that yeah, it excites me, I want to know about it. Is there any topic that you have already some knowledge about? So you can start developing a research topic on that domain where you already have some knowledge. And if there are some teachers, amongst us, if there are some teachers amongst us, we teach a lot, we teach several subjects. Maybe you can take up a research topic. I'm giving you very practical insights. Okay, you can take up a research topic based on what you are teaching. So let's say if there is a management teacher, accounting teacher, or a finance teacher, and each of them are teaching about, let's say, accounting teacher is teaching about cost management to their students. Okay, so you may be, cost management must be a big subject. There must be some topic, one topic that you are really, really good in, and you just love teaching that topic to your students. Definitely, every one of us who's teaching will have that one topic. Or if you are working in a corporate, you are doing research as a part of your corporate job, there must be some domain, some issue where you always want to, where you're always ready to work on. It's just like, you don't need to really worry about it. If they call you 2 o'clock in the midnight and tell you prepare a report on this tomorrow morning 7 o'clock dot, by 6:30 you are ready with it. So there must be something that you are teaching or working on which will definitely have, where you have very good strong knowledge, very strong knowledge. That also can become your research topic. Everything is subject to research. There is nothing called not researchable. It's just that you need to find the correct way of pitching that topic. So such an approach is good to kickstart that brainstorming process, conceptualization process. You cannot really depend only on this, okay? Because self-introspection has problems like recency bias. You will only think about what you have read recently and you will become very biased towards them. So maybe you read a report recently that taxes, maybe you read a report that in the forthcoming budget, it is expected that income tax rate may be reduced. Every budget people expect that. Okay, that's one thing. So you may have that kind of newspaper article or some write-up that you read, or maybe you read opposite, taxes are going to be increased. So none of them is the truth, only budget will reveal it. But you will end up working on those kind of topics more just because it is being talked about more. So media can have an impact on you, news media. So if there are some issues they are constantly talking about, you may end up researching on those, whereas in the literature they might not be playing much role. Okay. Paradigm bias, I have told you. Ideological bias is your bias towards taking that certain ideas are correct, certain ideas are not correct. And then sample bias, no matter how well you conceptualize internally, you can't know it, you can't have information on everything. Suppose if you conceptualize a topic based on some data versus you conceptualize it based on just your own internal thinking process. I will always prefer that data side more, unless you are an advanced stage researcher. For an advanced stage researcher, self introspection could be a great way because they already have very good depth and command over the subject. You know, they have the knowledge of the frontier of the subject. What is at the frontier on the subject? So there they can really use self introspection. But for early career researchers and mid career researchers, solely relying on self introspection cannot be a good idea. So then comes peer group interaction. You start interacting with people, go to conferences, workshops. If you are working in corporates, go to the regular meets that you have with your colleagues. Throw your idea there, you know, in your classroom, in your staff room, talk with the fellow teachers, throw your idea, approach some of the experts in the field who are highly cited, just send them an email, tell them this is the topic you are thinking of, would this be a good idea, take their view on that, you know. Excuse me, I'll have water. So take their view on that and see what they say, you know, see what they say, what is their view. So this kind of peer group interaction will help you to firstly correct those biases. Which biases? These ones, you know, here recency bias, paradigm bias, ideological bias. But the condition is, what is the condition for this peer group interaction to be good? The quality of the group has to be really good. Quality has to be good. If you're interacting with people who are demotivated in research, for whom research is a burden, for whom research is a compulsion for API, you know, I know many such people who openly tell me, we don't care about research here. We are doing it just because we need promotion or because it's something that we are needed to do. So if you interact with those people, believe me, you will end up leaving research forever. So you need to find a good group. Where do you find it? Workshops like this. You will find various experts, contact them after the workshop is over. In last workshop, there were 5 to 6 people who contacted me and we finalized topic for them, specifically for them. So, you know, that is one way. Go to good conferences, you know, talk in your staff room with your colleagues, those who are actively doing research work. So that's how a good quality peer group will help you to create very good, conceptualize really good research topics. And sometimes those topics become life changing. So sometimes those peer group interactions become lifelong collaborations. So do that, you know, participate in high quality workshops, visit other institutions wherever you are working, whatever field you are working. There must be some institutions which are working in the same domain. Go there, interact with them, throw your idea to them, show them what you are trying to work on, or tell them, I don't have a clear idea, just give me some idea, let me see what you people are working on. You know, for good institutes, you can go to their websites and see their ongoing PhD thesis or their past PhD thesis, say for last 1 year. You will get very good idea on what are the most happening or important areas of research in your domain. You will find very good idea there. So with that, you can create a very nice topic out of it. Of course, these were all ad hoc strategies. Some other ad hoc strategies are here. As I said, you can go for expert opinion. One very interesting way that I have found, which I have used for developing my own research topics, is to go for preprints. You know, big publishers like Routledge, Springer, Sage, they have preprints where people put up their research papers which are not published but work in progress. And with those uh, preprints, you get an idea in your domain what are the important emerging topics, what topics are being talked about, what topics are being discussed, you know, what's the hustle right now. You get that idea there. So do try this. I have one of my preprint paper on Sage Advance. Sage is a very good publisher. People from management, economics know about it, business studies, even accounting, people know about it. They have an online preprint version called Advance. You know, you just check it later on once the session is over, and you will find a lot of papers there. So put keywords on your topic, whatever topic you are interested in. You will find a lot of research papers which are not published. So, but mind you, Mel, even though they are not published, you have to cite them because they are online. They are published without formal publication acceptance, but they have a DOI, digital object identifier. So you need to cite them, okay, even if you refer them. But you will get very good idea on what people are doing, and maybe you can contact them also. just drop them a mail that I saw your working paper, I am also interested in working on this topic, can we collaborate? So great, you have a nice collaboration also with you. So you need to hustle. You can also follow, it's called a copycat strategy. Follow highly cited author. Like in marketing, one of the highly cited authors is Professor Justin Paul, with whom he was a contributor to my previous book with Routledge. He contributed one entire section. He wrote an advance praise also for my book. He was kind enough to put time for me. So you can follow him. There are many other such authors in economics, even in marketing, in HR, in accounting, in finance. Follow them. Go to the Google Scholar web page, profile page. Follow which are the, even in their publications, which are the most highly cited publications. Get an idea what topic they are working on. Take that topic and try to apply it to your locality or your region or your country. And that also is a new finding. Taking a topic from elsewhere, topic, not content, mind you well. We are not talking about plagiarizing it. Topic, an idea, and then applying it to your country on a fresh new data set with new hypothesis. That's also great research. I prefer to use Google Trends to see what's going on and it gives me an indication. So let me show you first hands-on. Okay, let me show you something about Google Trends. I'll go to my browser. I'll again share the screen with all of you. Okay, I've opened my browser screen and we'll go to Google Trends. Shrutika madam, just a quick update. I am audible and the screen is also visible, correct?
Yes, sir.
Great. So here we are at Google Trend, and there is a specific topic which I am working on, but we don't need to take every time topic I am working on. There is something that I found interesting. Let's say that you are a researcher working in the domain of human resource management. Maybe you are a professional HR manager who is now entering academics, or you are working as a researcher in an HR management firm, that specializes in doing HR management for big corporates. So you'll have to deal with a lot of data and do all analytics there. So you want to know what is the current hustle in HR management. All right. So I have 2-3 examples, but let me write human resource management. And then I'll press the button explore and let's see if it has enough data. Okay. And here on past day, I'll take 2004 to present. And instead of India, because I want to focus specifically on India, I am keeping in India, but you can go global also. Now, this is not research interest. This is the common public interest in the term HR management as far as Google's search engine database is concerned. Now, there are a lot of problems in these kind of data sets because we don't have access to the raw data, but so we don't know how much noise may be there. But still, it gives you a fair overview that the common interest in the term HR management is falling. All right. So if somebody is working in the field of management and is deciding what kind of next topic should I work upon, maybe it might not be a great idea to focus purely on HR, and maybe you can adopt, see, if you want to work only in HR management, you can adopt a more of a multidisciplinary framework here maybe. So perhaps that will help you to gain traction, because whenever you do research, our aim is that our research spreads and people can use our research positively to develop their own work or solve some issues or further improve their research. So maybe on this indication it might not be a great idea. Then I'll go to, of course it is since 2004 till present. Maybe in last 1 year, what's the situation? In last 1 year, it has remained fairly similar and flat. So there is not major change. Okay. But over long period, the interest has declined. And here you have the tab of related topics. Okay. So what are the topics which are related to HR and are rising in importance? Just a moment. It is reloading. Maybe some issue is there. Yeah. And then you have related queries. What are the keywords that people are using in Google search, regular Google search? This is not scholarly search. This is not Google Scholar. It includes everything that Google database has. Google Scholar is very specific. The Google Scholar database only has scholarly articles. Here we have everything under the sun, under the roof. So you might ask me, why do you want to get into that? See, we scholars who do scholarly research, now we have our own world, our own cocoon, and we somehow over time we disconnect with the actual world. So it's always better to just have a look at what the larger actual real world is talking about, and maybe from there you can start working out your research topic. I'm throwing different strategies for you. I'm not saying this is the only strategy. I have a lot more for you in my magic hat that I'm carrying for you. But yeah, here on the related topics, tax administration, tax deduction at source, harmonized system, reverse charges, these are popular. On the related queries that people are using along with the term HR, these are the important terms that are occurring. You may go for further, you may see further what kind of terms are being used. So maybe you get an indication that if I want to follow what is popular, some kind of HR management practice in catering services could be a unique or interesting idea to explore. I'm not saying that is your topic. Maybe start exploring about it, or maybe look at how tax, what are the tax dimensions, or how this tax administration and HR management interact. How can HR management improve tax administration in the country? So by HR management, I am talking about the tax department's HR management. Maybe that could be an interesting topic. Of course, you get only indications. You don't get a specific topic from here, but it is better to have some database backup, an idea, rather than wandering around, aimlessly. At least you have some idea, some backup, and you can start exploring, So maybe the first 3 related topics and the first 3 related queries put together from an HR perspective, maybe those can be useful for you. Another thing that I am interested in personally, if you talk about it, that I'm currently very much interested in term is financial inclusion. Okay, I'm really fascinated with it, and I've been working on it. So I'll search the term financial inclusion, and our government is also very aggressively pushing the agenda of including people in the formal banking system, in the formal financial system, so that they can get access to money, credit, and the capital, and they can improve their lives, come out of the clutches of poverty. So if you look at the term financial inclusion and its interest over time, it has increased and then become quite stable at certain point. But there is no large decrease like it was in HR management's case. There is no large secular decline in this, okay, like it was there in HR, a large secular continuous decline. It has stabilized to considerable extent, okay. And what are the topics that are quite popularly searched, okay, in the Google search database? You can see the first 3 topics on the related topics and queries, first 3 queries. So India related financial inclusion is being talked about. Of course, we are looking at India's data. Let us see if we have global data available. Yes, worldwide is there. You can take specific countries also if you want. No, see, if you see the worldwide trend, so interesting. The interest in financial inclusion has definitely increased. So for HR management in India, it has fallen down. Similarly, for financial inclusion term, interest has flattened, but from a global perspective, it is consistently increasing. So your research, if you research something on the issue of financial inclusion, will definitely have good amount of audience who will find it useful for you. And this is the regional distribution. And why is this important for you here? Because you can decide what kind of data set you should focus on. Maybe you should increase the scope of your research and not only focus on India, but also include some of the emerging economies, which is what my research is doing in the domain of financial inclusion. So maybe I would include more emerging economies, and I can even see that advanced economies are also here popular. So maybe I can contrast the condition of financial inclusion in emerging economies like India, Brazil, Russia, and China, and compare them with advanced economies like UK, US, or Canada. I mean, I'm just throwing a wild idea to you. This are all, but beginning like this is much better than beginning with a blind idea and simply relying on what your brain is telling you. At any point in time. So if you look at the important search results and queries, it will show only for India's perspective. Like financial inclusion in India is a very important term and is experiencing a breakout recently. On related topics, you can look at bank building function or India's financial inclusion, financial services. So what kind of financial services are playing an important role in financial inclusion? Generally, we talk about banking, but even insurance related financial inclusion should be discussed. And today, large number of people are investing their savings in mutual funds in the stock market directly or indirectly through mutual funds, through SIPs. So maybe financial inclusion can be thought of from that perspective also, from different financial services perspective. So, this kind of approach can give you some feel or some idea to kickstart. You will definitely have to go to the systematic approaches after using. You need to start, generally you should start with an ad hoc approach, develop a theme or an idea, and then go to the systematic strategies that we will now talk about, and then develop your specific research topic. Okay, so let me come back to our presentation. Right, I'll share my presentation screen again with all of you. Just a moment. I hope you can see the presentation screen. So we are back there. Fine. Shrutika ji, just again to confirm, my screen is visible, presentation screen.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
fine. So what are the systematic approaches? All right. We look at some of the major systematic approaches. The idea behind systematic approaches is that they are very less biased because you take into account multiple paradigms, ideologies, perspectives. So the bias is reduced considerably, and they are based on a scientific criterion. All right. So the logic that you have behind choosing a topic in a systematic approach is based on well-defined scientific criteria rather than on ad hoc personal beliefs or intuitions or subjective ideas. So once you go for systematic approaches, you use a protocol, some kind of well-defined protocol to decide conceptualize your research topic. There are 4 protocol approaches that you have popularly used currently. There is a citation based approach. You can go for an impact factor based approach. You can have network paradigms where we will use VOS Weaver, and there's a research gaps approach, which is something that you will definitely have to do. The 4th one is something that no matter which method you start with, you will always have to conduct a research gaps analysis. Then only your research topic conceptualization process will get concluded logically. Then you will come out with a very fine, well-defined, specific research topic, which is going to really give you great benefits in coming years. And then keep working on that topic for years and years together. Don't stop working on that. You may work on other things also, but you keep working on that topic. And you see that over years, few years, you will be known name in that particular topic. People will refer to you. On the last day, we have a panel discussion where one of the invited professors is Professor Ram Pratap Sinha sir. Those of you who are working in efficiency analysis, economics, who use data development analysis, if you are working in those areas, you have to refer to Ram Pratap Sinha sir's paper. That is how well he has worked. He comes from a small college in Kolkata, but he's internationally known. All big names in that field know him, have collaborated with him, worked with him, invite him. So how did he decide that? He uses a systematic protocol based choice, what I should work on. Don't let your emotions come in. When you do research, you need to have a very well-defined scientific process in mind to what topic should you work on. Just because a topic seems great to you does not mean you put your time and energy on it. Is it important for the literature? That's a very important question you must ask. And unless you get a clear answer on that, better to avoid that topic. So let's look at the first protocol in systematic approaches, the citations method. And here what is a citation? Citation is the activity where or the event wherein somebody uses your research work and gives credit to your research work or to any research work. It can be it can be a paper, it can be an edited book, it can be a chapter in an edited book, entire book. So citation reflects the fact that people are referring your work or that particular work. So in every domain, accounting, finance, management, economics, business studies, econometrics, statistics, psychology, sociology, we will have in the social sciences, we will have research papers that are at the top in terms of citations. And they are having large number of citations. Now you might ask me, so there are different kinds of citations. There is SJIF citations, the SSRN citation, Clarivate Thomson Reuters citations, Scopus citation. My best bet is to go for simple Google Scholar citations. That's the best way to look at citations, because Google Scholar takes into account a researcher's work in Scopus and Web of Science Index journals also, in ABDC also, in ABS also, and in peer reviewed also, which may not be indexed anywhere. So it gives you a very large and holistic view, and it's free to access. You don't need to pay anything like you need to pay in Scopus and Web of Science case, all right, to get that data. So Google Scholar citations, is the, I think, if you take the keywords by this stage, after using the ad hoc approaches, you will have some keywords in your mind, not the topic, but the keywords. You should definitely have some keywords in your mind. Like I have the keywords financial inclusion. Now it's a vast topic. So if I put financial inclusion in Google Scholar, I will get a lot of research papers. I like to see, I will organize them according to the citations and see the top 5 or 6 highly cited papers. What topics have they worked on? That will give me a very good idea what should be my next topic. All right. So once you have the idea of citations, you can go for Google Scholar, for example, and then take the top 5, 6 or top 10 cited papers, see the research titles, topics, read their abstract. This is freely available. You don't need to pay anything to read abstracts most of the times. You'll get a fair idea. These are the main topics in the domain of financial inclusion or HR management or cost management or masstige marketing or brand equity management. You will get some idea. These are the main things which have been very popular since last 10 years or since last 5 years. I would prefer to go for last 5, maximum last 10 years. So you get a trend, you get an idea. And then that could be your next research topic. So you will ask me, sir, do we go directly ditto ad verbatim, make it our topic? Of course not. Common sense, of course not. That main issue can be taken up and you can apply it to your country or a particular sector or a particular industry or a particular domain, okay, where you have access to data, or let's say to a particular country like India. So then that will be a new research. Even the topic has been worked upon, the data set, the hypotheses are new, fresh. So the insights and findings will also be new and fresh. Of course, a major limitation of the citation method to research topic conceptualization is they may not clearly reflect impact, because we have very specific kinds of impact factors, which is our next method, the impact factor method. So here you take up a specific impact factor index, the most popular being the H index. So if your H index is say 3, it means you have at least 3 research papers, each of which has at least 3 citations. Fair enough? So there is an H5 index also. So if H5 index is 1, that means you have at least 5 papers which each one of has 5 citations. Then there is I10 index. It simply says how many of your research papers or a particular researcher's research paper had at least 10 citations. From a research paper point of view, I10 index shows how many times that paper has been cited at least 10 times. So if I10 is 5, it has been cited 10 times, 5 times till now. Then there are different indexes like immediacy index, 5-year impact factor, SNIP index. You don't need to get site score is very popular. It is from Clarivate Index, Web of Science. But site score, simple H index, and 5-year impact factor, 5-year H index, average H index, for example, they are more than enough. Take any one of them. Okay, there won't be much great difference, I assume. And take any one of them, see which topics or papers have very high score in these. You can also go for a different strategy. Instead of research papers, you find out the journals which are having high index. So journals also have H indexes. So which journals have very high H index, site score in your domain? What do I mean by domain? Your main subject, marketing management, accounting. In accounting, if you're in cost management, okay. So in economics, it can be international finance or industrial economics or macroeconomics. You can find those journals. Simply go on Google Scholar, you should be able to find. Even on Scopus and Web of Science search option, you can find the journals which are amongst the highly cited or having high impact factors. That is generally available free of cost. You don't need to pay anything for that information. So then you can go to those journals and see their research papers. How old? Say last 1 year, or maximum last 2 years. See what kind of research papers are being published specifically on the keywords that you have found out. How did you find the keywords? On this ad hoc strategy that we discussed earlier. By that time, through self introspection and peer group interaction, you will have some idea which are the keywords you are interested in. So try to find more, which are the journals which are having high citations, high impact factors, and then try to find what topics or research papers are there using these keywords. Each research paper will have a keyword section. Which are those? What have they worked upon? What is their title? What is their abstract about? You will get a very good idea of what you should work upon. Okay, that could be a very good idea. My second hands-on is I being from economics and banking and finance background, I wanted to keep that aside and focus more on other domains. So I decided to go for marketing and consumer studies domain, where I have chosen a very highly cited journal and respectful journal. Those of you who are in this domain would know about it. The International Journal of Consumer Studies. That is, again, editor is Professor Justin Paul, sir. So what I'll do is I'll go to their website. All right. I'll go to their website and I'll open their official website. Yeah. The official website is now open. It may take 10-15 seconds for you to see due to some network issue or something. So it's published by Wiley, of course, a very highly reputed publisher itself. And this is the journal. You can see how high its site score of Scopus. Yeah, site score is from Scopus. Let me correct. It is not Web of Science. It is Scopus, from Scopus database. This journal citation indicator and journal impact factor is from Clarivate, which is associated with Web of Science. So its Scopus site score is 13.6, quite high, isn't it? Amongst the highly referred journals. And you can see the quality of this journal by looking at its acceptance rate. Does it mean that low acceptance rate means higher quality? Maybe not, but it means that passing through this journal's checks and filtering is quite difficult. So if something has been published here, so definitely it has to be of very high standard, isn't it? So that's our assumption, and it has to be. When so much of strict assessment and scrutiny is there, on an average, you will find that the articles are really good and really well framed. I myself have referred to some of their articles earlier on how to conduct systematic reviews, because in management, systematic reviews are very popular, even in business studies. So this is the journal there. Now what I'll do is I'd like to go to its issues maybe I'll first start with the current issue. And in current issue, I'll just, my first aim is that I will review the issues of this journal, whichever journal I have chosen as per the impact factor. In this case, it is International Journal of Consumer Studies. I would like to find research papers that have some keywords that I am interested in. How do I know the keywords? From that ad hoc strategy stage, self-introspection and peer group interaction. Or maybe if you are not able to find studies with those keywords, one thing is maybe your topic is too unique or too narrow. Maybe you should expand it. Try to find something which is broadly or remotely related to those keywords. Or maybe you should go for another journal which is amongst the highly cited journals. So you don't need to stick to only one journal. I have taken one journal as an example. A healthy practice is to look at least the top 10 journals. Correct. So you have a very thorough view, and this will make you very good in your domain. Believe me, just going through top journals, referring their volumes, getting an idea of what is being talked about, that itself will make you a very good researcher, because you will know what is to be discussed. How is it to be discussed? That awareness will guide you further in your career. So I'll go to the latest issue of this, and I will look at some of the content, like the review papers. For suppose I want to work on a review paper only. I don't want to work on an empirical paper. I'll see what kind of review is being talked about. Of course, not in one issue. I would like to review at least last up to last 2 years of volumes to get a fair idea. And from there, I'll see that there is a lot of discussion of AI. See, mastage, I was talking about mastage marketing. Yeah. So a lot of discussion going on about AI. Again, in the one volume itself, we have one paper on AI, and then again ChatGPT, which is again AI. So it's quite clear that in such a journal, if 2 research papers are talking about AI, there has to be some importance of this topic in the literature. So you can have look at the literature. When I was looking at it, I found this anti-consumption research really interesting. This idea of anti-consumption research. I'm not from management and marketing background, so I may not know more about it, but it's really interesting. What is this anti-consumption, and how do they conceptualize it? So by reading at the abstract and title, I can get a click that yeah, this topic could be a really interesting research work for me. Of course, the first priority is to find topics, research papers in the top 10 journals for the last 2 years for each journal on the keywords that you have finalized earlier in the ad hoc stage. But suppose if that doesn't happen, you can still explore new topics and get new ideas from this stage itself. You may not need to go to the ad hoc stage per se. You may start from here also. It's a very dynamic thing. It's up to you. I would prefer to start with the ad hoc stage, finalize some keywords, start looking for them, research related to them, and then finalize my research topic. But if you don't have keywords in your mind, or if you are impatient, or if you want to quickly finalize it, find out, go to this stage directly. Absolutely fine. So here I'll get an idea. There's something interesting. I'm interested by this anti-consumption research. I want to know more about this. What does it mean? What is it about? Where are its applications, and what have they done? So then I'll start reading about it, start finding about it. I'll Google about it. I'll talk about it with people, and slowly, in say week or 10 days, I should be able to frame my research topic on this. And whatever research topic in this case I will have will be based on a scientific protocol. I not randomly found it out just because I felt found it interesting. I saw it in top-notch journals. Maybe you can Google this term on Google Scholar and see if there is good amount of literature in the last 5 years. So if there is good amount of literature in the last 5 years, that means it is quite important, but that also means there will be a lot of competition for you. So publication will become tougher. And maybe if you don't find much literature in the last 5 years, maybe this is a good opportunity to contribute something in a area where there is good amount of gap. Okay, so that really depends on how you look at it. But if you decide to work in an area where a lot of literature is there, competition would be very high. Cracking the nut, cracking the journal filtration will become quite difficult. So put a balance there. You should put a balance there. See, there's third article on AI, humanoid virtual influences. So I'm very sure that AI related applications in management in specific industries, their review, how it would affect its implications. This could be a very good research topic for me. All right. So this is the second hands-on that I wanted to conduct. And again, we'll go back to our presentation, correct? Again, we'll go back to the presentation. So 2 hands-on done. And this is the third one, the network paradigm. Network paradigm is the idea, in simple terms, it is the idea where you use bibliographic data to find how various concepts and terms may be related. Now, a strong benefit of network paradigm, which we will be conducting now through VOS Viewer, is that you don't need to even worry about finding the keywords to start with. You just get the bibliography data. How to get it, I'll show you and I'll discuss about that. Don't worry. You just get the bibliographic data, and this VOS Viewer will frame the whole network of literature in terms of the key concepts, keywords rather, if not concept, keywords. It will show you the density of each word and how they are linked with other concepts. So what does that do? It gives you a clear indication what kind of topic I need to focus upon. So my research topic should link or connect what different major concepts. Okay, so by doing that, you can skip everything that we have done so far, and definitely this is the most superior method of research topic conceptualization, and it's the most difficult also. And why do I say that? Because here comes the challenge. I need the bibliography data. Now I have shared a file with all of you, the first file, which has 575 studies on the domain of financial inclusion. Those 575 studies are a part of my research, which I have happily shared with you, which I have reviewed thoroughly, gone through, and still studying them and reviewing them. So I have shared all those things directly with you. So similarly, finding this bibliography itself is a challenge. One great thing that you can do is, if you get access to Scopus database and Web of Science database, if you put keywords there. Now again, how do you find the keywords? During the ad hoc stage, you would have decided some keywords. You would also gone through some top journals. So you will have some broad idea what kind of words should be used, ideas should be there in my research topic. You still don't have the clear research topic, but you have some idea. These are the key terms I need to use in my research topic. Once you have those ideas, you can use Scopus or Web of Science databases, put in those keywords, and see the studies that it returns. Download that entire metadata, and then you can feed that in VOS Viewer. Now the question is, you need access, premium access to Scopus and Web of Science, which unfortunately in large number of cases we do not have. Okay, so that becomes a great limitation. So a second strategy to do with this is try to find an institution that has access to it, or try to find somebody who would be happy to take your keywords for you, put it in Scopus database or Web of Science database, download all the metadata, including the journal name, into the article. It will be article specific data. So article, its journal, citations for the article, publication year, everything, author name, etc. And they will be happy to give to you. Or if somebody is ready to do it on a chargeable basis for you, that's also possible and great if you find it, because as such you will have to bear some cost. Instead of spending thousands and lakhs of rupees on getting access to it, if you can get it in a smaller fraction of that cost from someone, you can do that. That would be a great idea, I believe. Okay, this is second. First is have premium access. If not, find somebody who has access to it and request them, pay them, or find an institution. Suppose both of these do not work, then what to do? Then the third is, you use those keywords on Google Scholar, which is something I'm sure Google Scholar must be known to most of us. Okay, Google Scholar, like Google, it's a search engine, but for research papers, books, etc. Scholarly work. published and unpublished both. So use Google Scholar and you search for papers there, and use a referencing tool like Zotero. I use Zotero for my referencing work. So it's a wonderful software, free of cost. So once you have Zotero installed in your computer, you can install its icon in your web browser, whether it is Internet Explorer or Google Chrome. And every time you refer something, just press that button. Most of the time, 95% of the time, it will automatically create a bibliography entry in Zotero's main system. So this 575 that you saw, the first file that I have shared with you, which we will use right now, those are all from this kind of referencing that I have myself have done in the last 1 year or so on the domain of financial inclusion. So finally, I have 575 studies collected with me so far. I have actual studies also, and it's bibliography data also. So that you can use. So that is another way. Of course, you don't need to go to 575. Try to have at least 100 practically. At least 100, to have some fair understanding. You don't need to review all 100 in your research work, but whatever, you need some substantial number of studies on a certain keywords, to be able to find some pattern. If your sample is too small, 10, 15, 20 or 30, you won't be able to find much pattern there. So at least bare minimum target for 100, which is very easy, let me tell you. You use the keywords, go to Google Scholar, start searching for them, and keep pressing that Zotero button. Over, say, 1 month, you will have minimum 200 studies with you. What will they have? Articles, books, edited volumes, chapters in edited volumes, all those reports, okay, important government reports related to that topic, if you are working on such a topic. So you will have a lot of such content with you. Then you can play with it in VOS Viewer, and you can find out what's the most important thing emerging here. Because see, Google Scholar also will take into account Scopus and Web of Science database. It's not that it will not be able to search for it. It will definitely take it into account, if not 100%, at least 60 to 70%. So Google Scholar will be able to get access and at least return you the results. So once you, all you need to do is see the first page of that, where abstract and those things are mentioned. We don't need to read the whole paper to put the entry in Zotero and then in VOS Viewer. So this is something you can do. Of course, all these things require time. So what I mean to tell you is, research topic conceptualization takes time. Good topic, framing a good topic takes time, but it pays off, because then you have a long-term path with you. Keep working on this topic, keep building new hypotheses in this topic, and develop yourselves in this topic in the literature. So visual networks are really good. They provide on the guidance on which concepts are important in themselves and which are strongly related. So then you can create a structure of your research topic. Till now you only had keywords to play with. After this stage, you will have a clear structure of your research topic. What are the main ideas I'm going to connect in my research topic? So let's go on to VOS Viewer. All right, and what I will do is I'll have to first switch on VOS Viewer for sure. Yeah. So let me launch VOS Viewer. Where is it? Yep. Here. So I hope now you can see the screen. Shrutika madam, just to quickly confirm, this software screen is visible, correct? And I'm audible also.
Yes, sir, it is visible. Yeah.
Okay.
And you're audible.
Great. Great. So now we have the VOS viewer screen. I think it has opened 2 times. I'll switch on. It has opened 2 times. So I'll switch one of them on. So we have the VOS viewer screen in front of us. A wonderful software created by a researcher around 9-10 years ago. That researcher himself was facing problem on how do I make sense of so much of literature, and they have literature, hundreds and thousands of papers, but you know what's going on in the literature, and you can't read all those 1,000 papers. Come on, your lifetime will go away, and it's foolish to read it, at least when you have technology. So those 2 researchers, they sat down and they decided, let's find an algorithm or a way of analyzing all this literature information, bibliographic information, finding out the true patterns or major ideas, major patterns in the literature. So that is what we are going to do. Now in VOS Viewer, there are a lot of concepts. So we may not be able to discuss everything, but you can see this option of manual on the left bottom side. Under the menu info, there is an option called manual. Once you click it, the actual manual book, PDF book of this software will open. Go through the book. Okay. No need to read it end by end. It's quite lengthy. Read the main sections and read the main concepts. What are the main concepts? What is link, total link strength? What is citation? What is occurrence? What is co-occurrence? What are co-citations? What is overlay? What is network? What is density? Understand these concepts well. I'll talk something about them, but you also spend good amount of time on it. Then you will be able to make sense of it. And then you will be able to do very high, not only you will be able to create very good research topics, extra advantages, you will be able to do very good research literature reviews also with this. Okay, so let's start firstly with its inbuilt capability. So you can go to the option open on the left side. Again repeating, you can go to the option open on the left side. There is a menu called file. In that there is an option called create, and below that create you have the option open. And in option open, we will use the inbuilt default files given by the software. Okay, right now we'll not use any new file that I have sent. So once you do that, there are two options here in VOS Viewer. Again, I'll show you what is to be done. You open the VOS Viewer, its main screen will look something like this. You go on the left side, find the option open, and then press on the option open, and then you will have a screen where there are two sub options, a VOS Viewer map file and a network file. Now, both these files need not be put. If you only put map file, okay, which is a predefined conceptual map between concepts, it's fine for it. You know, VOS Viewer can directly analyze it. And if you put that network file also, how they are linked, if you have some file of that form, that's also great. But we will see other ways also, don't worry. We'll start with this. So you can also play with it, you know, right now and later on also after the session. So first we'll go to VOS Viewer map file. We'll press the browse button and you go to the folder where you have stored this VOS Viewer. You know, in the beginning I told you during installation, you download it, cut it, transfer it to a new folder, extract everything there. So once you extract there, this kind of folder will be created. VOS Viewer 1.6.20-exe. Once you open, see, it should not be the zip file, it's a folder. Once you double click on the folder, there will be another folder called data. Okay, once you click on data, there are a lot of files in this. Okay, I'll again show entire thing once again. Last time you have VOS Viewer screen in front of you, clean and neat screen, wonderful, nice, simple screen. You find the option open. Once you do that, there are two files it is asking. Second one is optional. The first file is map file. We press the button browse, and now you need, in my case it is open, I can see this. In your case you may not be able to see it. So find out that folder, this folder where you have made extracted the VOS Viewer. So a folder would be created in the main folder wherever you cut paste that VOS Viewer. This was the folder where I cut paste VOS Viewer, and from this folder, if I double click, another folder will be there because I extracted the VOS Viewer zip file here. So new folder is created. Double click on the folder and you will have another folder called data. Double click on that and now you have a lot of files. What we want is, we want the file called journal_map.txt. Okay, so it's a journal level data. It's a data on different journals, okay, that VOS Viewer is providing. So you can play with article based data, you can play with journal based data, you can play with book based data, you can play with data which has both journals and books. So VOS Viewer allows you a lot of flexibility. The thing is, you need to create the raw data. That's where the challenge is, and that is where these Scopus and Web of Science people have monopoly, because they charge money but they give you this kind of ready-made data which can be directly put into VOS Viewer. I'll show you those options also later. So look at this journal map, press OK on that journal map. So it will put that journal map file here. Then the second one, network file. Okay, second one is the network file. Again, press browse. below that map file, there will be network full. Below that, there will be network sparse. Right now, we'll use the network sparse, which is a shorter form. You may use the full also, but right now we'll go for the shorter form. Okay. So first we use the journal map file. Now we are going to use the journal network sparse.txt and press OK. So once you have done that, two files are loaded. We have the map file, we have the network file. I'm now going to press the final OK. Once I press the final OK, it has run the algorithm, and I have something in front of me. Correct. Now, what this something shows in colors is the spread, the distribution of different journals, okay, in 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 different subjects. How do I know that? Due to the colors. If you see the colors, the blue color represents operational management, operational research. The yellow color represents marketing management. The green color represents management, journal management. The red color represents economics. The purple color here represents the accounting and finance domains. So we have data on lot of journals of 5 different major subjects. And how do you use this? How do you make sense of this? The idea to make sense of this is that the circles that you see, the larger the circle, the more research papers are there. We are using citation. Look at the right hand side. Okay, look at the right hand side where I have put my mouse. Visualization, scale is there, then weights are there, weights. In the weights, we have chosen the option citations. Okay, citations, that is how many times articles in that journal have been cited till now for whatever period it is covering. Generally, it covers, I think it covers 2 or 3 years of data. Fine. So, we have used the weight citations. So now the circles that you see, they represent the journal, and the larger the circle, the more citations articles in that journal has received for the time period for which this file is created. This is a practice file. You can create your own file for 5 years or 10 years, you know, but this is a practice file. So this is, say for example, this big circle here. It is written AM Econ Review. If I go on that circle, I can see the name here on the lower screen. Okay, on the lower screen, if you see below this particular network diagram, this is known as a network diagram. So below the network diagram, the name of the journal is there, American Economic Review, the topmost, creamiest journal in economics. Naturally, its articles should be having the highest citations. Okay, and in management, I can see that this academic management and strategic management journal are having quite high citations because their circles are quite big. Similarly, in accounting, we have Journal of Finance, which is having very high citations because its circle is also quite large. What does this mean? Whatever subject I am working in, I can get an idea which are the journals which are at the peak or top in my particular domain. Now, whatever we discussed about finding high impact factor journal, vagera, all those things can be done quite easily if you know VOS Viewer. So you can have this database, use VOS Viewer, and you can find the journals which are important for you. And maybe you can now go to those journals, the top 2-3 journals, and then start looking at their articles to find your research topic, your next research project. So this is a journal level analysis. Okay, but we are not only interested in journal level analysis. There is one more option other than network visualization. We have density visualization. Density shows the strength of that particular circle compared to others. So the more yellow it is, the more articles are concentrated out of the total database in that particular journal. So from entire database that we have uploaded and loaded in this particular software, here you can see the yellow is the brightest. So economics is dominating, and in them American Economic Review and Journal of Political Economy are dominating a lot. Okay, this is item level density. Now look at the right side, there is another option here in the density option on the right side. Okay, go down, go a little bit below there, and you see a density option. There you can click on cluster density. Okay, cluster density. What does cluster density do? Cluster density talks about which are the important journals in the specific subject domain. It does, see, item density here takes the whole data and shows you the journals which are the most important. You can do similar thing with keywords also. If you have database with article titles, you can do it with keywords also. So which keywords are having the highest importance in the total database that you have provided to the software. But if you go for cluster level density, you can find out which are the important keywords or journals in this case, which are important in that particular subject domain, in that colored cluster. Each cluster will have a different color. So in management, we have the European Journal of Operational Research, which is dominating. In economics, two journals are there: American Economic Review, Journal of Political Economy. In accounting, we have Journal of Finance. In management, we have Academy of Management Journal. In marketing, I think we have Marketing Science. So you get an idea that in within a particular subject, these are the journals that are dominating. And suppose you are doing a multidisciplinary work or an interdisciplinary work, you can perhaps refer to 2-3 top journals from here. Go there, look at their articles of last 1 or 2 years, and get a very good idea of what can be your research topic. Maybe you combine those subtopics from these journal articles and create a new topic out of it for your next research project. All right, so this was a journal based sample data. Now I'd like to quickly use the data that I have provided you all. All right, so in that case, instead of open, we go to this option called create. I request all the participants, Ms. Shrutika and the organizers, maybe we'll have to extend the session for 5 to 10 minutes more, not more than that. So I'd like to complete it 12, 5 to 10 minutes more. By 8:10, perhaps we can, if you allow, if it is possible. If not, then I will quickly conclude it. So you can please let me know what is the possibility. 5 to 10 minutes extension is possible or not operationally? From the IT team, if you can guide me, if it is feasible. If not, then I will accordingly plan out. Or maybe they'll join in some time. But let's quickly learn it. No? So if you click the option create, you will have this screen. If you click the option create, you will have this screen. Okay. Instead of open, you click the option create. There are 3 options: create a map based on network data, create a map based on bibliography data, and based on text data. So all these 3 are different. Generally, you would use bibliographic data. So if you have access to Scopus and Web of Science database, using bibliographic data is a good option. But suppose you have created your bibliography using Zotero, that Google Scholar method, 575 articles that I have sent you, that 575 articles that I have shared with you. If you have that, then you can go for text-based data. But then your ability to do the tasks is reduced considerably. You have much lesser option. Okay, when you go for text-based data. If you go for bibliographic data and press next, you will see different options. Second one is the files from Web of Science and Scopus directly. I have shared you one file of Web of Science also, if you remember. And you can also read data from reference manager. So yeah, if you have text data from Zotero, you don't need to go only for text data. You can go for this, create a map based on bibliographic data with the file, the first file that I shared with you, 575 studies. You can go for this, read the last option, read data from reference manager files. Okay, again, I'll show you what I did. I went to the option create on the main screen. 3 options are there. I took the second option, create a map based on bibliographic data. Here, I chose the third option, read data from reference manager. Press next, and now we need to find out the RIS file, which is that RIS file that it needs to read. We need to find that, and to find that, I'll need to go to the concerned folder, correct, where I have stored it. Yeah, so this is the file that I have shared with you, the first one, RIS viewer files, 575 studies, financial inclusion. So I will select that, which I have already shared with you. I'll press OK. I'll press next. Once you press next, okay, once you press next, there are certain options it asks you, whether you want co-authorship based analysis or co-occurrence. If you if you just put your cursor on the question mark, it will explain. Co-authorship means how are items related? What do we mean by items? Keywords. How are the keywords or terms, concepts related is determined based on the number of co-authored documents. So how, say for example, the term financial inclusion. So financial inclusion, how will its importance be determined? It will be determined based on the number of times those two terms have been, let's say financial inclusion is one term and financial stability is another term popular in the literature on those 575 studies titles. These two terms are popular. So how will the software determine its relatedness? How will the software determine how strongly those two terms, financial inclusion and financial stability, are related? If you use co-authorship option, it will look at how these two terms, how many times these two terms have been have come together in a document where financial inclusion and financial stability are coming in the same document. That is co-authorship analysis. So if there are authors who are working on this, how many times they have used it together. In co-occurrence, it is determined based on number of documents in which they are occurring together. Okay, very important to understand. You read the manual, you will get an idea, because we have time constraint. You read the manual, you get a better idea. It's very easy to actually understand. There are two different strategies. I generally go for co-occurrence option. If you don't understand anything, go for the co-occurrence option. Avoid co-authorship option. All right, go for the co-occurrence option. And then there are counting methods. Full counting means each co-occurrence, not single occurrence. How many times two terms are occurring together? Each time they are occurring, it has the same weight. Okay. And fractional counting means if it has occurred 10 times, 1/10 weight is given to it. So the number of times it is occurring will have no impact in fractional counting, but the number of times two terms are occurring together will have an impact on how strongly they are related if you choose the full counting option. I prefer to go for full counting. That's my preference. Generally, it gives you a better result. Then I press the button next. In next, it shows me what is the minimum criteria I need for something to become important. So what I'm saying is, by number 5, I mean some term, a particular term, not co-occurrence, a single term like financial inclusion, should be there at least 5 times in the entire file, 575 studies entries. It should be there at least 5 times to become important. See, what VOS viewer will do, it will find different terms and keywords for you and link them together. Which ones should it link? Like the article, those things will be ignored. So you are telling it, you find only those concepts or keywords, okay, keywords, which have at least 5 times occurrences, which are mentioned at least in 5 articles. So 575 articles, out of them, at least some term has to be mentioned at least 5 times. You can even increase it. You can make it 6. But every time you do it, you see here, the number of total keywords or concepts in the network diagram will reduce. If I make it 7, now it is 26. If I make it 8, it is now 19. If I make it 9, it is 15. What does 9 mean? Whatever terms, keywords you are using, finding out, VOS viewer software, we are telling it that whatever keywords you are going to use, they should be repeated. They should be repeated at least 9 times in this 575 articles. Then only you should show it in the diagram. Otherwise, don't show it to me. So the default, whatever default it sets, is the best option to go for. And 5 is the default. So we'll go next. Now there are total 37 different keywords. These words, how they are related, will be shown by the software. These are the keywords it is going to show. You can manually ignore some of them, like this G21, O16. They are all JEL codes. So you can include them or you may exclude them. I prefer to let it be. You can always ignore them later on. And press finish. Once you press finish, it will run the algorithm. I'll make the background white. And this is the network visualization, network diagram that we have. Okay. Financial inclusion is the most important term in the 575 studies. And if you look at its relationship with different concepts, you can see its relationship with financial literacy, with financial services. Okay. These are very importantly related to it. But financial inclusion has the largest circle, indicating that it is the most important concept in itself. On second, you can have perhaps gender, which is having a larger circle, economic growth. So what you can do in each cluster, in each colored grouping, you can find out which is the largest circle and bring all of them together into your research topic. You know, that can be a very smart strategy. You bring all of them together into your research topic and create a research topic out of it. Or maybe take financial inclusion, which is the most important circle, and take largest circles from 1 or 2 clusters, put them together and create a new interesting research topic for you. So that will give you a very good idea of what kind of research topic you should work on. If you go on density visualization, you will see the weightage. Okay, now item based weightage. So in terms of item, definitely my entire bibliography that I have shared you dominated by financial inclusion. So that's not the correct way. You go for cluster density. Within each cluster, which concepts or keywords are important. Here it is financial inclusion. Here we have financial literacy, which is important. Here we have economic growth, which is important. Here gender is quite important. You know, here fintech is quite important. So maybe you can link your research topic can study on how financial inclusion and fintech are related, or how financial inclusion, financial literacy and fintech are related. You know, so this could be
Yeah,
a
so
Shrutika.
sorry to interrupt, but we just have 4 minutes to
Okay.
proceed for our
Maybe
question and answer session.
Yeah, I will quickly end it. Now I'm going to quickly end it. Okay. So this is the hands-on on viewers viewer. There is a lot more I wanted to show, but maybe we can discuss later on. I don't have that much time available with me, I believe. So let me also quickly finish my presentation. Okay, let's not end it abruptly. Arre, where is Zoom? Yeah, so let's not end it abruptly. Let me quickly share my presentation screen and allow me to finish my presentation quickly now. So this was the network diagram, and whatever you do, all the methods till now, in the end, you will have to conduct a research gaps analysis. So those who will teach you systematic review tomorrow will definitely cover it. Research gaps is the fact that there is inadequacy of existing evidence in the light of available data. So you have data which you can use to test some hypothesis, yet you don't have much studies on it. That's the research gap. 7 kinds of research gaps are shown here. You can see the diagram. I generally prefer that you should always try to find the theoretical gap, the empirical gap. You know, these 2 gaps are such that you should definitely try to find out. If you and lastly, the evidence gap. So theoretical, empirical and evidence gap, you should always try to find out data sets where you can test certain hypotheses which can reduce these 3 gaps but have not been done. So whatever topic you have finalized till now should now be put to test through the research gaps analysis. Is it a gap in the literature? Is it fulfilling some kind of gap in the literature? That you should try to find out. Once you do that, you will have a very concrete, nice, compact research topic, and your conceptualization of research topic will be thoroughly done, scientifically over, and you will be ready to undertake wonderful research. Some perspectives of research in practice: you can look at research as inspiration, as profession, as a solution. Most of us we have research as both inspiration and profession. So your strategies are different. In corporates, they look at research for solving certain specific problems. So there, the style of topic conceptualization is very different. Topics are given to them. Lastly, these are some of the ideas. I will not be able to explain you right now. I'll share this PPT with you. Have a look at it. Some very practical tips that I have, particularly the citation politics, where people have a large group and they are co-citing each other. Those things are something you should try to avoid because it will create problems for you later on. The rule of thumb is consult top tier journals, at least for last 2-3 years. Whatever keywords you have decided in the ad hoc stage, use them here. See whether those keywords are being used in some topics. If not, explore a new topic or maybe look at more journals. Finally, you should be having good idea of what kind of ideas will be there in your research topic. Create your bibliographical file by Scopus, Web of Science, or through Google Scholar using Zotero. Feed it into VOS Viewer. Look at the network diagram. See the most important connected concepts in terms of citations. Now those will be your final research topic. Now conduct a gaps analysis. See whether the topic fulfills certain gap. Those 7 gaps that I have shown you, at least 1 or 2 or 3 gaps are fulfilled or not. Then your work is over and you have a wonderful topic in front of you. Rajadan Singh, please don't disturb me. Please don't make annotations. Fine. So these are the references. Somebody has put circles on the screen. So request you not to do that. We have been repeating this. Don't make us remove you from the meeting. So these are the references. I'll share the references with you also. So yeah, I have ended. Shrutika madam, it is up to you now. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, sir. Yeah. Now, dear participants, we may proceed for our question and answer session. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, participants, 1 or 2 questions, then we will end formally. Anyone would like to ask anything, please go ahead. And personally, if you want to talk to me about your topic, how to go about it, I am available always. Right now, if you want to ask something specific, go ahead.
Good evening,
Yeah,
sir.
I'll provide the handbook. When somebody is asked, I'll provide the handbook. Yeah, somebody wants to ask something, please go ahead.
Yeah, sir. Actually, I wanted to ask, we have used the RIS VOS viewer file in order to create our own map, but I wanted to ask, how did you created that RIS file? Because
Yeah,
since you have provided us, but in case if I want to create my own,
yes,
so how do I have to do it?
correct. Important question. And if you remember, I discussed about that itself. First is you should have access to Scopus database of Web of Science database, and you'll put keywords there, the keywords that you understood in ad hoc stage, and you will get lot of studies. You can download it as a CSV file or an RS file. That is one strategy. If you don't have access to those premium databases, you find somebody who has access who can provide that to you. Again, that is also not possible. The third strategy, use your keywords, go to Google Scholar, start searching studies, use Zotero reference manager software or Mendeley any other reference management software, install its add-on in the Internet Explorer, keep pressing it, it will keep adding those Google Scholar articles and web pages as articles. It will create a bibliography for you. Zotero will create, which I do, and you can download that, export that bibliography file in form of RIS file, and then you can use it. That is what exactly I have done with the file that I have shared with you, those 575 studies. So there are 3 ways you can do that. It's a manual work. If you have access to Scopus and Web of Science database, it's a matter of 5-10 minutes. Otherwise, it's a lot of manual work. This file that I have shared, 575 studies, it took me almost 1 year to create because I reviewed all those things. The 3 ways you can do it. Always get back to me later on if you yourself want to do something on a specific topic. I am always there. Yeah, nice questions.
Okay,
Anybody
sir.
else?
Thank you so much.
Dr. Sumedha, you are
Good
raising hand.
provide
Dr. Sumedha,
a
I think you
source
have.
of content.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, tell me, please.
Thank you so much, sir, for such an informative session. I just have one question. While you were uploading that file,
Yeah.
that was your file, Weber Scopus file.
Correct.
So that time there you had 2 options. One was the which is required option, and the another one was the optional TXT data.
Correct.
So what's the role of that TXT data in the whole analysis?
Both are TXT files. One is a map file where there is entry of journal names, number of articles that have been published, their H index, etc., and number of citations their articles have received. And then that is a map file. There is a network file where there are links, co-citations, co-occurrences, so that is why I told you to read the manual ones. Those things, those data points are put in the network file. So once you have both the file with it, viewer knows very clearly what are the important journals and how they are linked. I could not talk about that actually. We did not have much time. But viewer was also showing which journals are quite strongly linked with each other. So if say American Economic Review and Journal of Political Economy, if they have a strong link, they are close to each other, those circles, that means articles are being articles are being co-cited in both. They both are having their articles which are being co-cited with amongst themselves. So if you publish in one, you're going to get citations from the other. So that how close they are, the distance of the circles, that is given
The
by the
strength.
strength, that is given by the
And so if we don't upload that optional file, will that affect our results?
I have not tried without that. Generally, it
Right.
shouldn't, given that your raw data has this co-citation and co-occurrence data. If it doesn't, then you won't be able to derive inferences on how closely they are connected with each other. But you will still be able to know which are the important ones in total and within the
Right.
clusters, but you may not be able to find out which are well interconnected. If that is not your purpose, then fine. You don't need to worry about that data. Like the RIS file I have shared you, it doesn't have those data. Still, it's giving a good image, good clarity on what are the important terms, how closely they are related. And generally, we are not interested in journal level data. We are interested in article level data, you know. So you don't need to worry about
Right.
that. In article level data, it will create a network by itself. You don't need to worry about it.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Last question from somebody, then you can always
I have one question.
Yeah, please.
Sir, thank you so much for providing the scientific methods of finding the research topic. This is very new for us also. I have one question. Sir, after reviewing the paper, after reading the paper, after completion of the literature review, how to develop a conceptual framework? Is there any scientific method or steps? So can you suggest some books or any insights?
Yeah, I'll be sharing 3 to 4 books where after conceptualization, how you make it concrete, how you frame the theoretical model, those things will be discussed. And tomorrow you have systematic literature review session. So the madam who will be conducting your systematic review literature session will also definitely cover it. I am pretty sure.
Yeah,
So
thank you, sir.
I think it will be covered tomorrow. So nothing to worry. Acha, I asked this, I request the IT team or somebody to save the chat. You know, there's an option to save the chat. I'm not able to see it. Yesterday it was there. You can please save the chat once. Shridisha Banerjee, last question. Please go ahead quickly.
Sir, when I saw your this journal map, which you had actually, inserted and the networks parts. So after that, when you have run these two like query, it was showing which journals are popular rather in which domain, like finance and all. But now if my topic is digital health, do I need to create a different journal map for the
No,
sake?
no. Journal map, why I showed you, because it has, it was a sample data available. Generally, you will be interested not with journal level data, article level data. You would require data which I have created, the RS file that I have shared with you. You can get it from Scopus or Web of Science, or you can create your own in Zotero or some other software. You will be interested in article level data. The journal level file and data I showed you just for the sake of finding popular journals. But generally, we know how to find popular journals using Google Scholar or talking to people. So you don't need to worry about the journal level issue. You don't need to feed that data into your system. You can have that bibliography data, simple bibliographic data, that will be enough for your analysis.
So how do I actually do that? How do I put the CSV file which has been generated for me?
Generated from
Because
where?
you have
You have created yourself, or you have?
no, it has been generated by Scopus.
So it has option
From
in there.
Scopus
If
account.
you go to the option create, then you go to the second option create bibliography data. Go next. It will ask you upload bibliography data, Web of Science Scopus format. Press that. Press OK. Feed the file. Select the file where you have stored it in your computer. It will automatically read it. VOS Viewer has inbuilt function and ability to read Scopus and Web of Science CSV data. And actually, that will be wonderful for you. Yeah. All right, we can end the questions. I request everyone, before Shrutika madam concludes, I request everyone to please, if you are in a good position, please switch on your camera for a common group photo. If IT team is around, you can help us. Is the IT team around? Yeah, you can also help us with a nice quick photograph. Or everybody please switch on your camera if you are in a good position to give us a good photograph. I request the IT team to please take a photograph of all of us. Yeah, once it is done, let us know. Everybody smile. Keep smiling.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, please.
Sir, as I have given you the rights, sir, I am not getting the options.
Oh,
Can
no
you-
problem, no problem. I have taken some screenshots.
Sure, sir.
Yeah, one last photograph, everyone. Please don't switch off your screen. One last photograph. 3, 2, and 1. All right. Please stay. Shrutika madam, please conclude the session.
Yes, sir.
Can we
Now,
have,
I would.
sorry to interrupt, but can we have the contact information flashed on the screen?
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that. Shrutika ma'am, please go ahead.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I would like to thank Dr. Bhagirath Baria, sir, for his insightful presentation on conceptualization of research topic. Sir, the insight shared by you on research paradigms, conceptualization, and research dimensions, its practicability, even the approach to find research gap were truly exceptional and have significantly expanded our knowledge. I would also like to thank Vivekananda Global University, AIU-VGU-AADC, Jindal Center for Global South, OP Jindal University, Jammu and Kashmir Economic Association, and the CAF Economics for organizing this brainstorming workshop. I hope this session have provided valuable insights to all the research scholars and academicians. And you all might be implementing these learnings in your future research. Once again, thanks a lot, sir, for your insights. Thank you once again. Hereby, I conclude the session is over.
Thank you, everyone. Good night. Take care. We'll meet tomorrow for another session by another expert.
Thank you all.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye. All right, Shrutika madam, thank you so much. Wonderful.
Yes,
Take
sir.
care. Bye-bye. Good night.
Yes, sir. Bye, sir.